And we're back with some nature corn. No sunset though. There you go, perfect. You need to charge, bro. You need to charge badly. Ouch. Okay, let's go. You and me. Nope. Good. Did no damage. Oh, we did it. Okay, good. Don't blink, it's your boy Yink. Welcome to the Open Fire Show. We're doing well because I'm having a wonderful day. We're very behind. Fuck. I was supposed to go live today. I'm gonna go live still. I was supposed to do a lot of things, but we just spent an hour helping a friend that was depressed. More than an hour. Holy shit, we spent an hour 40 doing completely nothing. I mean, I'm glad I could help my friend, at least. But that's the most important part, so I'm happy about that. So without further ado, let's continue. I'm a bit in a rush, so sorry we don't have my apologies. So we don't have the best of intros, but your boy is rushed, stressed, and the rest. Okay. So on the list we have number 16, Price of Vengeance. It's a Sawyer episode, which is really cool. You know what? Give me a sec. I'm gonna get something to eat. Because your boy is pretty hungry. So we have a Sawyer episode. This one's actually pretty nice. So we have a much... You see, this one is weird. So what are we eating? We're eating Mr. Gustave. Traditional spices. It's delicious. The best cheese I've ever ate. So, why didn't I do it before? I don't know. Usually, you can kind of tell how much time or how they go, right? On this one, we don't know how much time has been between the first and the second. The first and the second flashback. So in this one, we have a much better off story. However, it's complex because the story we had before was still an asshole. However, this one is motivated by rage and violence. So he had a business with a guy, and the guy is another asshole. So we go in and we talk about how we're going to Australia, right? And we say, okay, well, I found the guy, which is the reason why I thought it was in Australia. We found the guy that we're looking for, and his friends, or his not friends, that he used to do scam with, and I located him. But you want to know. However, at the end, and it sucks because Sawyer goes in, right? It's the guy for the shrimps because he's a shrimp seller. You see, the guy he's supposed to kill, the real Sawyer, because we know that he took the name from the guy, the real Sawyer. And you found out that the real Sawyer is actually pretty freaking nice. Fucking, I want to kill you. You're actually pretty nice. I don't believe how busy I am. Actually, quite sad. But hey, if I complain, at least do what we can. That way, we can do what needs to be done. And fuck, it's hard though. It's really hard. So, like I was saying, he said the guy is really nice. He doesn't want to kill him. But then he reads the letter and he finds determination. So he comes in and he kills. And then the guy is like, yo, it's not clear. It's not clear if he reads the letter and determination or he goes to a bar to get drunk to get some will. So he goes to kill the guy and said no. And that's who I was looking for. I owed money to that guy. That's why he sent it to kill me. He wanted you to do the dirty work. I never killed your parents. I'm not like that, you know. So Sawyer just killed an innocent man. There is this scene with the father of Jack, and this scene I wanted to keep it in because it's so good. So Sawyer says, "I'm here for personal business," which the father of Jack interprets as a love. He doesn't interpret it as anything else. Now it's kind of complex because there is some speculation. I think that night is the night that the father died, or somewhere shortly after. So we talked to this guy, and it's so funny because why I'm saying that is because in the episode where Jack was looking for his father, it's like, yo, my father didn't bring his wallet, and then an episode at the bar, the father's like, hey, I forgot my wallet. So Jack buys some drinks and he pays the bottle. So the father of Jack comes in and he push. And then they make a couple of jokes and they talk. Now, I'm gonna repeat everything they said except for one thing. The father of Jack, Christian, says that's why the Red Sox never win. Jackson said that later on, and that's when Sawyer knows it's his father. So it's gonna go into a spoiler. Just gonna go into another episode that I think is so important. My favorite moment between Jack and Sawyer is when Sawyer sees Jack and he feels bad about what he's done. And he wants to do something good, so he tells him about the father, the doctor. And we know from the flashback what he said is true. He really didn't meet the father. Could have kept it. And why I think it's a nice act is I believe before that he has met the father. He has met, he knew the father was Jack's father. And he just didn't say anything, which was pretty much of an asshole. So this is why we see. So the father of Jack comes in and said, hey, we all have our demons. And then my demon is, there's a payphone in here. I can reach the phone, call my son, tell him I love him. Tell him how proud I am of him. Tell him how much of a better doctor he is than me. Just why? Because Jack cared enough to say, yo, my father is wrong here. I don't care about sacrificing. I'll sacrifice my dad if I need to. He did the thing that his father couldn't do. So that was actually pretty intense. However, I think that's because he says, don't be like me. I've been wanting to pick up the phone. It's complex because we know from the flashback that Jack said his father hasn't talked to him in 2 months. So it could be 2 months. I don't know if it's years or months. It's not clear. So the father of Jack said, don't be like me. which Sawyer takes as yo, let's go and before I spend my whole life thinking, what if, let's go kill that guy. That's pretty much it. Price of Vengeance. Kate and Sawyer reveals big secrets as they are tracking a war that's causing problem. Hurley or Hugo, I'm gonna call him Hugo because his real name is Hugo and I love Hugo. I gotta be a side note. I one day am gonna be a father. I want kids for sure. The importance here is I live in a bilingual country. I live in a bilingual neighborhood. My content is bilingual, so I would like to have a son or a daughter with a name that is both French and English. I was talking about names. Think about names. Mark, Hugo, Vincent, also Vincent, Hugo, Mark, Michael, Mike, Michael. There's a bunch of names, so I would go for that. If I have a daughter, it's nice. Violet, Eve, Eva, Eva, Emily and Emily is a bit different, but I think it would be cool. To call her Emily in French and Emily was in English. I think I would love that because it's different, you know. Anyway, so Hugo and Saeed are worried about Charlie since he was next to them. So I'm gonna take care of this side. That's a fucking firework. Did you see that? That's a fucking firework. I don't know if we caught it. I think it was more there. I don't think we caught it. Shit. Shit, bro. Wait, why aren't you charging you? You're not charging. You're not charging. You guys saw that, right? You guys saw that there was a firework. Somebody put in a firework, which is amazing. That's what we heard this morning. We heard a big one. So I'm gonna take care of Charlie right now. The first thing that we see is, again, his father killing himself. So, you know, that what he said is true. You go see Charlie, and it's like, Charlie is like, you go ask Charlie, are you good, bro? Because you're different. And then Charlie's like, yeah, I'm good. And then you go to see Saeed and say, hey, bro, how does it feel to have PTSD? And explain, because you think that Charlie has PTSD. It might be the case. Now, I'm going to be saying a huge spoiler. And I'm ashamed that I called Charlie another good character, because if that's the case, that's amazing. See, Charlie gave up on drugs. He's in a withdrawal. He, thanks to John, he doesn't consume anymore. Not consume, he doesn't use. Consume in French. No, he doesn't, he consume pas. He's not using anymore. Now, why is that important? That's actually a really good question. It's important in two regards. The first regard is the fact that he's free. And then he finds a plane and he finds some of the drugs, right? You guys remember the plane with that we found? Oh, that's not yet. I'm sorry. So they find a plane with a lot of drugs in it, right? And then Charlie thinks about using. And I never thought about Charlie having PTSD and need to use to kill the PTSD. So if that's the case, that makes a lot of sense. If that's not the case, it's just a decision. See, Charlie does a lot of things impulsively, a lot of things, but at the same time, he does what he thinks is right, and I gotta appreciate that. See, to me, and again, I'm gonna be very, very rude. I think Charlie is like a younger Sawyer. Wants to do some good thing, but isn't able to. He wants to be somebody that helps, like Jack and John. Jack is a lot, well, not a lot. John is a lot older than Charlie. Because they really had some experience that Charlie didn't get. And Jack is a bit more mature, is a bit more of a leader, so he enjoyed more. See, there's level to maturity. Jack is a lot more mature than Charlie. Is Charlie immature? No. But Charlie had a pretty privileged life, so there's nothing that he had that he didn't choose, right? And that's pretty much it. We have Sawyer and Saeed. Moments. Why am I saying all that? Well, because Charlie didn't do something that he thinks is right. He didn't have the experience of, okay, well, don't do that. Because if you do that, for example, okay? For example, I'm not saying this is something I did. I'm not something that's something that I do. right? I have this girlfriend, right? And I don't like, I have this girlfriend and I don't really feel in love right now with another girl. It goes well, and we fuck, right? So I'm cheating on her. Now, at the end, I'm realizing that I shouldn't have cheated. The reason I cheated was because I didn't know that I shouldn't cheat. Now, of course, you're saying, Ink, did you know that you shouldn't cheat, right? It's normal, you shouldn't cheat. However, before you do it, you don't know how much pain it's going to bring. You don't know how much of a mistake it is. It's like your father telling you, hey, you're going to have this kind of piece of pizza. You're going to feel sick. Like, fuck you, I'm going to eat a second piece of pizza. And then you feel sick. Like, oh, he was right, you know? You know there's risk, you know that it's not nice to do it. You still do it. Now, of course, piece of pizza cheating is different, but Charlie just killed somebody, so, you know what I mean? And we have Saeed and Sawyer. And I gotta say, I'm really liking Sawyer here. Now, this is an episode about Sawyer. Saeed and Sawyer relationship is, I don't like you. Then it becomes, I don't like you, but I respect you. Like, you see, that's the problem with Sawyer. Such an interesting character. See, Saeed doesn't dislike Sawyer. He knows an asshole. Like, okay, well, this guy's an asshole. What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna tell him to change. I'm not gonna change for him. So what he does is he's like, okay, yeah, Sawyer is an asshole. So whenever Sawyer does something nice or whatever Sawyer shows respect, so it's like, holy shit, I actually appreciate that. So Sawyer and Saeed relationship is extremely similar to Sawyer and Jack relationship. The sort of almost brotherly, I don't like you, but we have to be in this together, and I'm sort of being nice to you. See, Sawyer doesn't need to be like, oh my god, okay, let's put it like that. Sawyer probably started as Hayden, then he's a bit understood, and then he is sort of like, okay, this is Sawyer. It's like this person that does bad jokes. At first, like, oh, what a bad joke, and then like, okay, well, this guy does bad joke, I'm used to it. So that could be it. There's no inclination of that. The Kate knows the secret. I think that because people, for example, there's a really, really important moment where Jack helps Sawyer because Sawyer needs glasses. I think it's in this episode too. Sawyer needs glasses. And then Kate says, hey, thank you for helping Sawyer. No, she didn't want to. And what does Jack says? I didn't do it for him. I did it for you, you know? So is Sawyer like? No. Is he dislike? I don't think so. Which I think is already something that's a lot better than it was. See, you always have to see a situation as, is the situation good, bad, or do I think the situation getting better? The situation doesn't have to be perfect. If it's getting better, it's positive. Good. That's good. So yeah, there's a board that comes in and kind of attacks Sawyer. Kate says that he's using cologne and it's not good. You know what's insane? Sawyer's gonna call Saeed Mohammed, which is super bad. It's super bad. But at the same time, Saeed, it's not like, holy shit, you fucking racist. No, that's Sawyer. So then, it's insane because Saeed isn't crazy. Saeed's not an asshole. There's this really powerful moment right here when Sawyer thinks that he's being like hunted. Something asked him. Then he asks Sawyer. Sawyer asks Saeed, when you went back, you heard something, right? And then he asks Saeed, what did you hear? And he's like, why, did you hear something? And Sawyer says no, but at this moment, it's kind of weird because Saeed, so it's kind of crazy, okay? Saeed is also very intelligent. Saeed has a wonderful moment where he knows Danielle is crazy. However, when people say, oh, it's like, Danielle, you're crazy, Saeed's like, yo, she lost her mom. There's a reason for her to be crazy. Saeed hears some voices. And when you ask him, he's like, oh, I was dehydrated and I didn't sleep. But then, he still believes that he heard the voices. So he brush it off as something that doesn't happen. But in this case, Sawyer comes in, and Sawyer offers him like, yo, I think that what you said is true. And that's offering an answer. It doesn't, Saeed is a character that doesn't need to prove himself, right? However, by Sawyer saying that, He's like, okay, well, maybe I wasn't crazy. And then the question is, who's texting me? My father. My father texted me. My father texted me. Yeah. He's like, what time today? Not sure why. But we okay. I don't have time to answer because working a lot. I do like the relationships. It's always gonna be about a little bit. See, and that's the worst thing. Because Sawyer isn't a bad guy. It's just misunderstood. See, there's a part of me that has defense Sawyer. First of all, I love the character. I think he's complex. There's a part of me that believes that Sawyer would have warmed up to other people if they allowed him to. Because they didn't allow him to, you know? I think that's also an issue. We have some Charlie and Claire moments, which are quite nice. Charlie and Claire moments is quite nice. Why? Because Charlie just literally killed someone for her. There's a board that goes after Sawyer stuff. Kate and Sawyer's like, yo, I'm gonna help you, but I want a carte blanche. So it's like, okay, why? And it's tough. I don't know why Kate wanted carte blanche. I don't know why. There's probably a possibility that she wants to get to Sawyer, to know Sawyer's more. I think the relationship with Jack doesn't work. But this is implying that Kate is looking for a relationship, which she possibly isn't. Yes, it is complex. What's the other side? So, Sawyer is trying to track, and then Kate's a tracker. Again, this is not character development. See, this is the coolest part. This is the really coolest part because there is a moment where, for example, right? Let's say mission A, Kate is a tracker. Mission B, Kate is a tracker. Mission A doesn't have to be important. Mission B can be important. And since we know that Kate's a tracker, we don't constantly need to tell you that she's a tracker. We know she is, which is good because some show suffer from I constantly need to tell you. I constantly need to tell you. You know? So we have some Kate and Sawyer moment. Actually quite nice. They're having a good time. And it's nuts because you see more chemistry, again, between her and him, and her and Jack, which kind of sucks. So then we have Kate and John, they're following, they're tracking. Sawyer actually comes in. It sucks because John, this is unimportant. I think, oh my god, no, is this it's complex. This is possibly to show that John is still in the wood looking for stuff. It could be something like that, right? But I think that he's like, no, I don't think that's the reason why. No, the reason. So, it's amazing. So we see that Sawyer, it's so fucking complex. Because if that's the case, I don't know if it's the case, but John could understand the island way more than he talked. Sawyer believed that the boar is after him. Kate's like, no, it's a boar. It doesn't like your cologne. Now, John said the story. When I was young, I had a sister, and she died. Now, this is not true. You know why? Because John lived in a... This is not true. Oh my god. Oh my god. I never realized. Lost is so good. I never realized. He lied. He said when he was younger, he had a sister that died. And there's a dog that came in. And that dog that came in the day she died. And then he brought comfort to their grieving mother. And the lab was super good. And then when John's mom died, the dog just left. So Kate is like, did you think that the dog was your sister reincarnated? And he says no, but I believe my mom did, and that helped her. What he's trying to say is both, actually. He's actually saying both. Holy shit. he said that Kate is right because it is the boar, and he's lying because. So how do I know he's lying? He never knew his mom, and he was brought up in foster home. John lies a lot, right? That's another one, and I didn't even notice until now. I didn't notice until now, which is possibly why Lost is going to be watched a second time. I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. Is that why? So then, and Kate is Sawyer is like maybe. So what I think that John implies is that Sawyer feels guilty. By Sawyer feeling guilty, you could imply that the board is a representation of his guilt. The board is stealing stuff from him. But if Sawyer did anything, he steals stuff from people. The board is pissing him off. What is Sawyer doing on a constant basis? Pissing off people, right? And then it's super cool. It's super cool. So the whole plot of this, right? Sorry, I'm gonna spoil it right away. The whole plot of it is that they find the boar, right? And Sawyer has a choice to kill it and not. And what I love here is that Kate isn't even telling him like, yo, don't kill the boar. She's waiting and see what is happening. She waiting and see what is going on. Now what at the end, Sawyer then doesn't kill it, so he does the right thing. Now, there's such a worse thing. Because now I'm confused. Because there's a possibility that Sawyer saw the boar as Sawyer, the original Sawyer. See, at the end of the day, what happened is, again, in the flashback, Sawyer killed the guy that he thought was a bad guy, but wasn't a bad guy. Possibly the boar, he thought was a bad guy. You understand what I mean? I'm not saying the boar's a bad guy, but in the mind of Sawyer, this is a bad boar. He's mean, he's fucking with him. So we could kill him to teach him a lesson. Or, he doesn't kill it, decides to spare him, which he should have done in the past. Kind of complex. We have Sayid coming for Charlie, and actually helping Charlie out with mental. And it's cool because we had a second one. I don't remember the old black lady name, I'm so sorry. She tried to help Charlie last episode. Now it's Sayid for a completely different reason. So again, it's a part of Charlie needs to be taken care of. And that's pretty much it. So my problem with Charlie is also the fact that you're in a position where Charlie wants to be one of the head survivor, but he doesn't have what it takes to be it. And the show is still early. This is first season, so it could be at the end. There's a bunch of stuff. It's people surviving on the island. It's so cool. It goes to show like normal life. For example, Walden isn't jumping around. We see Michael being helped, Claire and Charlie being together, which is actually pretty nice. And now he texts me at 8:40, and I have to text him because I'm gonna get mad at me because they you never call me. You think your videos more important than me. Gets jealous, whatever. So like I was saying, here's an important moment between Sawyer and Jack. Sawyer gives the guns to Jack, which is kind of like a big deal. It's like a big deal because this is something that he doesn't want to do. And then there's perhaps a chance that he realized what he was doing was wrong and improve himself. And then Jack is so surprised that he says something the reflex will never win. Which we saw in the flashback of this. No, Sawyer could have done the right thing, said, yo, I met your dad. He doesn't. Right? But then it's a missed opportunity because he does two things like that in that episode. The first one he does Sayid. He could say Sayid, yo, you're not crazy, bro. I heard those voices too. Oh, I heard that noise too. He doesn't do it. And then he does the right thing with, he doesn't do the same thing with Jack. So I thought it was pretty sad. See? Could have done it. Now we'll do, I have time for one more. The Wall of Silence. This is the very first Jin backstory. It's not because Jin is not a talkative person, so it isn't the best backstory ever. However, we have a couple of somewhat important scenes. So it's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts because give me a sec. It's so cool. So we know that, okay, so it's kind of complex. We're gonna have to put Sun's story, backstory between him and between her and her husband. So we know that in this episode, the father of Sun allowed Jin to marry his daughter, and then we know that he's working for his father. So then we re-see the scene where he hits somebody, but then we have a lot more, which is great. The first scene we see is how much he's working and how much what he's doing is painful. So for example, there's a killer, right? And the killer said, "Hey, these guys keep blocking the business. Let's kill him." But then what Jin does, and that's actually a good thing, Jin goes to fuck him up. So this is why Lost is the fucking best series ever. Jin goes in and he hits the guy and he hits him. He hits him until his face is all fucked up and all bloody. So come back home. Instead of asking, what do you do? What did you do? And then he says, I did whatever needs to be done. And she's slapped him. What he could have said is, your father was gonna kill him and I saved his life. Now why did Jin went so hard? Because the guy was gonna kill him. So Jin kept him alive. Jin saved his life by beating him, but still kept his life alive. And he's doing a lot of things. For example, anything that are questionable. For example, he's beating up people, he's threatening people, blackmailing people, doing some bad stuff. And then, at the end, there's something truly beautiful that happens. Truly, truly beautiful that happens. And what is truly beautiful is that Jin come back to his father. And now his father was a fisherman. I was ashamed of him. So see Jin, like a lot of people that grows up on farm wants more. He wants an hotel, he wants a restaurant. Was ashamed of his father. And then, even then, when the father of Sun said, where's your father? Jin says, my father's dead. Which is not cool, but that's how I feel. And then he goes to see his father for advice. He said, I'm sorry Dad, I love you, I was ashamed of you. And his father is forgiving his son, he hugs him, he's like, yo, no problem. And then he said, tell me about your girlfriend, tell me about your wife. Said, oh, she's beautiful, she's intelligent. And then he's like, you think she loves you? Just like, yeah, she loves me and I love her, we in love. Jin questioning isn't the relationship. Jin questioning is how much he has to do for the relationship. See, Jin carries a secret that the father of Sun is not a good guy. And he can't tell Sun because they don't want to hurt her feeling. So he protects her. So he comes in as the bad guy, so she thinks that he's the bad guy, not her father. So his father's like, take her, or run away, never look back. Which is possibly why they left for Los Angeles. Possibly. Because he would get him. Now there is a part that is super fucking scary. And I don't know if it is as episode or not. Okay, cool. That's pretty much it. The episode starts with Jin and backstory. There's a lot of fighting. So Jin, it's tough. Sun, she's wearing a bathing suit, a bikini, and Jin doesn't like that she was wearing a bikini, and she's like to Michael. So she goes to Michael and she pushed, and Jin pushed Michael. It's like, yo, push it and again, you're gonna have a problem. So Sun, what she does is she slapped Michael, which is the reveal that, yo, this is kind of important. She protects him. Because if she gives him a slap, Jin won't fight him. And it's constantly some bickering between Michael and Jin. However, I feel like to spoil, Jin and Michael become best friends, and I love that. See, Sun lied to both of them. Because she liked both of them. She couldn't save anyone. But she liked both of them. So there's not a clear reason as to why she chose Michael to lie to. There's not a clear reason. Right? I don't know. I have no clue. But it's kind of complex. So then this episode, we're going to have a very cool scene. That Sun tells Michael like, yo, I speak in English. And he needs her. Jin has anger issue that he's up on the Gulf. Got more of Shannon and Saeed talking. And you can see that Saeed started to have feelings for her, but he doesn't know. And that is kind of nice. Because they have a good relationship. Saeed is super dependent. But Saeed needs to protect someone. That's a problem with Saeed. You need to protect someone. Shannon needs to protect. We have more of the boat building, and the boat building actually went well. Now, what is a bit of a shame is they don't really show you how it is. the bill was built super quickly. We know that Sawyer is super motivated to leave, right? Which is kind of like a big news. Kind of like a big news. Kind of like a big news in a sense of one of the main characters is leaving. See, Michael and Walt leaving is not such a big deal because Michael already helped a lot, and he did that. That was useful. But most of his scenes are with his son. So when you see Michael and his son leave, you're like, okay, well that makes sense. That is something that is kind of important to know. My apologies, it's disgusting. Disgusting ink. So now we see that Raph is burning. Now the sad thing is that the one that was burning the raft wasn't Jin, it was Walt. Jin was the usual suspect because he doesn't like each other. And now this kind of sucks because Jin burned his hand. So right away, I think it's Jin, but Jin was trying to stop the flame. Jin trying to stop the flame was him being nice. Now there is a super cool thing that I only noticed on my second watch. So we're going here. Sun is watching. See, you're taking the dog. Wait a second. One more of Jin making threatening people. I want to show you something. I don't know if you see it. I don't know if you see it. There's a scene where the girl is watching TV, and she was watching the news. And on the news, Hugo. So if you understood what he meant, they're saying that the Hugo is the winner of the lottery, which confirmed that what he said was true. We got Saeed and Boone talking. He's like, yo, I like your sister. And Boone's like, no, you don't know what she is. She's dangerous. And we said, it's tough because he said, get away from her. I don't give my permission. And Saeed stopped flirting he stopped flirting with her. So he stopped flirting with her, and then she's like, oh, you talked to my brother, right? So she knows. This could be seen as Shannon reciprocating the love, but at the same time, it's tough because it's tough because she won't tell Saeed that she loves him, but then she kind of likes the attention, so you don't even know she likes Saeed back. She's just like being flirted with or conquests. We have a scene between John and Shannon, which you basically tell her like, yo, if you like Saeed, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. So then Sawyer takes a now handcuff Jin. Again, Jin doesn't know what to say, which kind of sucks. They think that Jin is like a criminal or something. They think that he burned the boat. Now the real culprit is Walt because he's tired of moving. So then Michael sees Jin and he goes to him and he goes to fight him. And he hits him and Jin falls to the ground. Then Jin insults him in Mandarin. Now there's a very, very powerful scene here. Usually when they speak Korean, there is translation going on. There's a little bit of translation. In this case, there's no translation. There is no translation, which is kind of like a bummer, kind of like a shame. So they separate him, and just for Sun to be like, yo, stop it, leave him alone. So they say that she spoke in English. Now, the craziest thing, that everybody's surprised that she speak English. Now, there's a scene, and Sawyer's the one. Sawyer's like, yo, I'm looking at your man face. Even your man doesn't know that you speak English. So she didn't lie to anybody, which in fact helps Jin, because they're not lying to the place. She was lying, not him. And Sawyer is the one that noticed it. Now, is it other people didn't notice it? I don't know. It's not specified, but for now, that Sawyer said that, which is important. John comes in, and John does something that is super important. He said, we know there's other people on the island. Why aren't we blaming them? Why are we blaming each other? Now, there's a really, really, really cool scene at the end of this episode. Sawyer asks Walt, why did you burn the boat, man? And Walt tells him, well, I don't want to leave. I like it here. I've been moving my whole life here. Understand, Walt? What John says, I like it here too. So he likes Walt because Walt has been there since day one. Walt has always treated him nicely. And he's like, okay, well, I want to stay here. Now, here's the important part. Here's the part that most people forget. It's a really important part. What do you think happened? I'm gonna ask personally. What do you think happens? John knows that Walt burned the boat. And I think that's other is protecting Walt, which is kind of crazy. But again, what it is? John lying. And there's even a bigger thing. See, we could have said that Danielle, the French girl, right? She was, oh, we have Saeed and Johnny kiss. Which is important because it confirms the relationship. Look how nice this is. So, why is that important? See, Daniel, because she is crazy, she could be seen as, how do I say this? Shannon, because she's crazy, she could be seen as... Okay, we're good. Okay, that's good. Shannon, Daniel, because she's crazy, people don't trust her, people don't believe her. Now, the important part is that John might be lying all the time, could be seen as lying, not trustworthy. See, Daniel, this is what I'm trying to say. Daniel has a lot of information that could help them. Because she's crazy, we don't believe her. John has a lot of information that could benefit us. But because John is a liar, we don't believe him. You know what I mean? It's important. Anyway, gotta go. We're gonna do a TikTok live until 10 o'clock. Then I'm gonna be streaming, so let's fucking go. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's go. Now what you can do is this. My apologies.
Hey, Fantano has been caught.
I don't want this to do. How do I take out the story? Delete. Thank you.
20.
Okay, I can do that. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh, we got a live. We'll be doing it live on the tower, which is great. That's amazing. Okay, got it. What? No, dude, what the fuck? Please let me go live. Don't blink, it's your dying. Welcome to the show. Because you're doing well, because I'm having a wonderful day on this 3rd August 2025. Today we're doing something that's very special. I'm going to show you what we're doing. All I